Jesus said, "You will be my martus," or martyrs, which means witnesses. We can only testify to what we've witnessed. We can't witness anything until we get up and go. So join me as we explore deeper into the heart of God. Welcome back. I know it has been a little bit since I had a new episode up. It's been a little bit touch and go for me in the last month or so. It's been part of my journey, and it has been a little bit difficult. I mean to be more consistent about this. So if you're following along, I do apologize. But it's all hopefully for a journey that will make us all better. So let's talk about 1 Timothy 4:12. This is a passage, I've mentioned it before, that this was the first time that I really felt like I had a revelation from God. I've tried to come back to this well and drink from it often, but it doesn't always help, because God doesn't want me to seek one single verse. He wants me to seek Him continuously. And so I avoid it. Avoid it's kind of a little bit of a brutal thing. I just don't pursue it often because I want it to stay fresh for me. Well, it's come up recently as I've been really struggling with where to go with this. What are we doing here? Like, am I just gonna come up with a bunch of really cool ideas and then try to tell everybody about it and hope that helps? And I really feel like God was saying that the direction that we're taking this is to just be honest. So 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, "Be an example to the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." Be an example. So that has been kind of just really sticking in my brain and my heart and rattling around with all of the decisions that I've been making lately. So let's give a little backstory. We went on a vacation recently, and it was with extended family, and there was a lot out of our control. Got to see some cool people along the way. And did a couple of things that were fun, but largely it was very chaotic and, in fact, kind of drained us way more than it filled us. So you have to be careful about your tank. What fills your tank and what depletes your tank? Well, we got home from a vacation and our tanks were definitely low, if not empty in a lot of ways. So I got back to work on my full-time job and hit the ground hard because there was a lot of things that I have going on for that job. And I didn't have any days off for 2 weeks because I had a side gig, and that side gig was on the 2 days off that I had. So going to the side gig, it just was not working well. I was like dropping things and not able to put stuff where I wanted it to. I couldn't figure out how to connect things properly. It just took me so long to set up when normally I'm much quicker about it. It just was really rough. And during all of that, my wife got sick and she was down for the count. So it's kind of doing the single parenting thing where it's taking care of the kids and anything that they might need and helping out, make sure there's meals and food around and make sure that laundry keeps going, just the basic things to help out, because my wife was really not doing well. And then I get done with the gig. It was just a very hot room, and I finished with it. I get home to transfer the footage, and I find out that my main shot was basically out of focus for a good chunk of stuff, which is the worst I've ever done in a gig. This is like 101, and I somehow blew that completely. Which did not make me feel great. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I have no support, my tank is empty, and I made the rookie mistake that there is, and that just knocked me out. And I was pretty devastated This triggered me on every shame spiral that I have, and I was spiraling pretty hard. That Sunday morning, I'm headed back into work, and I was in a really dark place. I was kind of crying out to God, where I was like, God, I have tried my best through all my life to honor you with every decision I've made, to sow good even when there was evil. I have done my best to just try and be like you in every form that I possibly could. I've tried to be as the least selfish that I could be. I've tried to live to help others. Why is it that I feel like I just am getting dumped on over and over and over again, and I just can't seem to break free of this, that I'm just stuck in every possible scenario, and that it's seemingly, that's how I was feeling at the time, that everything I've touched just falls apart and it doesn't work. Like I was in a rough space. I was knocked down, and I was really questioning whether or not I was wanting to even get up again. And I'm a pretty positive guy for the most part, but this was pretty rough. So in my desperation, I was crying out to God, and as I was leaving for work, I felt like he said, be the example, and that breakthrough was coming, that there was one more big challenge, and then breakthrough was coming. And that was a struggle. But in the middle of me, actually, like, honestly, I'm just going to be super honest with you. I was doubting if God even existed. Like, that's kind of how dark of a place that I was in, which is kind of the darkest place that I've ever been in. I just was so tired and done, that I just was like, where even are you in this, God? Like, why do I just screw up everything that I'm a part of? And even in the midst of that, I was still hearing his voice, and that helped a lot. So, I pushed through, and I really pushed hard to see his face, to keep remembering that he's always with me, and to remember my declarations and who I am. And I pushed through those things. But then Tuesday night is our men's group, and that was a huge healing. I had a friend came up to me and shared Psalm 46, and that was huge, and it just really ministered to my heart, because throughout all of the craziness and the a lot of our future was kind of destabilized a little bit. We don't know what we need to do in the future, because we might need to move or change a bunch of things. Like, it's kind of a little bit scary. But I kept telling my family, like, the dawn is going to break soon. Like, the dawn isn't there, but I can see it getting lighter on the horizon. And in Psalm 46, it says, he will rescue her when the dawn breaks. And that was just a huge confirmation. And I was just getting ministered to, and my heart healed. And then I was sharing with some guys, and I was praying for them, and that just, like, I started really kind of essentially praying for myself and praying over my own situation, and I just really started feeling God move in that. So all of this to say that it's been a really crazy last month, and I've struggled more than I've struggled before. I've been in darker places than I've been before, but I've also been in greater places than I've ever been, because, like, this experience has been pretty amazing, and I'm hearing God on a level that I haven't heard him before, and I feel like he's leading me, and I'm excited because I feel like God's saying that there's breakthrough. Like, I feel it coming. Like, I feel like it's right there and it's going to be huge and massive. And I need to just keep hanging on and keep pushing through and look past the storm and see Jesus right there in the midst, walking on the water, and to stand in the midst of the storm and I keep praising him and worshiping him and pushing to draw closer to him when I already know that I can't be any closer to him, but just be aware of that presence and refuse to let my emotions and my circumstances tell me lies, that I am alone, that I can't do anything, that everything I touch is terrible. Like, I'm pushing through all of that, and I don't believe those lies. I'm going to stand in the truth that I am loved, that I'm cared for, that I'm not alone, that he made me for a specific purpose, that I have a call in my life, and that he's walking with me through all of that. And we are not qualified for the job that he has for us. Like, we're just not. And he uses the foolish things and the weak things. And I am a foolish, weak thing. I don't have all the answers. Like, I'm not great at all of this. I just want to keep pushing through, and I'm not going to stop. Even though I really wanted to recently, I was done, but I kept pushing through. I'm going to be the example. And it's not because I'm hitting every high note flawlessly and I'm just knocking stuff out of the park. Like, it's not because I'm doing great. I'm going to just be real and be honest. And I'm going to be an example even when stuff is not good. I want to be as open as I can. It's weird because it's the internet and I don't know how honest to be, and when it's other people's stories, how do you have permission to share part of their story, how it impacts yours? Like, there's some weird logistics that I have to figure out. So I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can. I'm going to be honest, but how open I can be, I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that, but I'm going to be as open as I can so that you can learn from my walk and how I do things. And, if I burn out and fizzle away, then hey, that was an example that tells you what you needed to know about my life and the walk that I walked. And if I stick through it and I continue to see Jesus more and more, and I have this breakthrough that I don't even know what it looks like yet. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited that all of the things that I've sown will be reaping soon. And just that I'm on the edge. There's this just dry period that I've been walking through where God is rooting out some things. He's purifying my heart, and he's like just forming me and shaping me, and I am excited for what it's going to look like. It's rough right now, and I want you to see that it's not just because my life is going flawlessly. I'm in some bad situations. Like, I'm not in the best of every situation. Things are not sunshine and rainbows for me. But I'm going to push through those things and see Jesus in all of it, because he's here with me right now. The Holy Spirit dwells inside of me, and he deems me worthy enough to give his entire life when I'm at my worst. And the last couple of weeks I've been at my worst, and I know that he still loves me and he cares about me. So I'm going to hang on to that, and I'm going to keep pushing through, because faith isn't really faith unless it's in the face of doubts and failures. Untested faith isn't really faith. And even though I've had my doubts, even though I've clearly had my failures, I'm hanging on to my faith, and I'm going to keep pushing through because I know that Jesus is here with us, and it gets cloudy and murky, and it's hard to see sometimes, and it feels like it's dark. But I'm going to keep moving forward because I know that the light is going to break here soon, and I am super excited about what that's going to look like, and I'm just not giving up. So I hope that you won't give up either, and let's keep pushing forward, and let's keep walking closer, and let's keep standing up and not giving up, not giving in. We're going to keep standing up, and we're going to keep moving forward. And that is my heart right now, even though it looks dark and it doesn't seem like this storm is ever going to end, and it feels like I'm going to drown, and I don't have an answer for some tough situations that I'm in. I'm going to keep pushing through, and I'm going to walk forward as if the storm is going to break at any moment, as if there is land very nearby, as if all of my problems would be solved. I'm going to keep walking forward because I know Jesus has got me, and so I'm going to keep going, and I'm just going to be honest about that. So you can look forward to seeing and hearing how I'm doing, because I will continue to be honest about it. So thank you for hanging out and visiting with me today. I look forward to more discussions, and never forget, you are not alone. And welcome to the Martyr Life. This podcast has been produced, written, edited, and hosted by me, Jared Eddy. Thank you so much for listening.